The crisis of authority. It's an argument, a concept from Slavoj Žižek that he lays out in his chapter on authority and against progress. What I'd like to do in this short video is give you a very concise, step-by-step explanation as to what exactly Žižek's argument and what philosophical consequences he derives from it. I filmed a longer version of this video, but unfortunately it was flagged because of some of the words that I used. So I will try to censor myself here and avoid referring to some things that are apparently not to be spoken of, which in and of itself constitutes a crisis of authority, I would suggest. Žižek's argument is relatively simple. He says we are undergoing a crisis of authority, the return of authoritarian, populist, strongman type political figures and leaders, the disintegration of socio-political institutions associated with the status quo and what in psychoanalytic terms would be called the symbolic order, i.e. the guarantors not only of meaning, but of socio and ethical participation. And finally, the disintegration of the master signifiers. A master signifier in Lacanian psychoanalysis is an empty or arbitrary signifier that in its very emptiness creates a whole network of symbolic meaning. For example, depending on where you stand on the political spectrum, the word freedom will have a very different connotation or meaning to you. Amidst this disorder, this crisis of authority, Žižek says that we have an opportunity to deconstruct the very notion of authority as such. And in so doing, we can resist the temptation to turn back the clock to a supposedly better time, which never really existed, and instead move forwards into an unknown future. But what philosophical consequences does Žižek derive from this argument? Well, essentially, he is critiquing the notion of authority as such. Žižek says that the elementary gesture of any critique of ideology is not to focus on the overt content of authority, but instead to focus on the form of the exploitation required to sustain said authority. For example, and this is my own reading, consider Monty Python's The Holy Grail. At a certain point, the king is walking around his lands, and he comes across two peasants who are digging through the earth. One of them looks at him and says, "He must be a king." The other peasant says, "How do you know?" To which the peasant replies, "Because he's not covered in shit." And Žižek's basic argument, therefore, is that instead of focusing on the figures of authority and all that they do, we must focus on those who are covered in shit. In other words, who must be covered in shit in order for the king to remain supposedly spotless? The critique of authority is therefore never simply a judgment as to whether or not the figure of authority is just, but instead an inquiry into the very structural mechanisms that guarantee such authority as such. Saint-Just, during the French Revolution, famously is to have written that we are putting the king on trial not to determine whether or not he is a good king, but because he is the king. And Žižek argues that authority is inherently tautological. Law is law, nature is nature. And yet authority always requires what in Hegelian terms would be called a constitutive exception. In this case, the person covered in shit. And Žižek says that authority always begins to break down when it has to assert itself. Freud already argued that when the father lashes out against the child, he essentially has already undermined his symbolic authority. Likewise, when the king has to send out his troops to squash dissent, this is already a sign of his weakness. In other words, power is paradoxical. Authority must appear to be complete, and yet it always requires either the tacit submission of the subject to it or the enforcement of authority on behalf of the leader. And amidst this gap between authority and its expression, we have what Žižek refers to as the Lacanian real. And within Žižek's argument, any inquiry into ideology or power or authority must start by examining this empty space, the space of the real. And here Žižek has a particularly innovative reading of the Kierkegaardian philosophical fragments. Kierkegaard argues that there is a difference between the figure of the genius and the figure of the acolyte or apostle. The genius is someone who has extraordinary capabilities that elevates him above other people. He can do what other people can't. He can think what other people can't. But the apostle can be an idiot, can be an ordinary person who has no skills whatsoever, save for the fact that he is the messenger of truth, that he speaks for the master. And Žižek says that within the Socratic tradition, leading all the way up to the Enlightenment, the argument was always that you must become your own master, that you must shed your relationship to the figure of authority so that you yourself can think independently and know yourself. This is the Enlightenment ideal, the Cartesian cogito, the self-transparent subject. And yet, Žižek says that Lacan's innovation within his psychoanalytic theory is to actually invert this relationship. The scandal of psychoanalysis, as Žižek puts it, is that Lacan always plays the master, the pseudo-master, the one who must be loved, who will teach you wisdom and truth. But strictly speaking, within psychoanalysis and within the psychoanalytic treatment, Lacan disabuses the patient of the very notion and the transference that takes place in such a relationship, which is to say, the patient who sits down with the psychoanalyst treats him like a master, expecting truth, expecting to be released. And yet in his speech, in his talking therapy, cure as it were, the subject realizes eventually that the master knows nothing, that the master is the subject supposed to know. And in so doing, Lacan and Lacanian psychoanalysis releases the patient from the very illusion that he must be set free by a master. In other words, the Lacanian master is not the one who teaches you how to be free. He is the one who shows you that you were already free. And Žižek says that herein we can invert the basic mechanism of authority. It is not the Enlightenment process of seeking to become masters ourselves, which often paradoxically, as Nietzsche already knew, leads us into the trap of submitting to an even higher master, but instead to release ourselves from the very necessity of masters as such. And in so doing, we can become authentically free. And herein we can see Žižek's communist, if you will, argument, that to be truly free is to live in a society in which masters are no longer needed. That true mastery, therefore, is to free ourselves not from the master, but from the desire to become a master ourselves. And amidst the disintegration of this authority, the crisis of authority, we therefore have the opportunity for freedom, the opportunity to blaze a new trail. That is Žižek's argument on authority, or the crisis of authority. If you would like to learn more about psychoanalysis, philosophy, and the intersections between Žižek, Hegel, and Lacan, please do consider becoming a patron, where you can download more than 100 lectures that I've uploaded, as well as my ongoing ebook series introducing you to these concepts. Thank you so much for listening to this video, and I hope that you will return for the next one.